Hey, welcome back to another segment of Veterans Did You Know? And today we're back at Disability Connection of West Michigan. We were here a while ago and we had such a good response and so many folks we needed to talk to that we had to come back for a phase 2. So here we are. And today leading off the program is Deb Marsh. And Deb has been working here for quite a while. And she works with the folks with disabilities and getting them job ready. And that's a pretty important job. Because I know, Deb, I did this for a while. We were just talking briefly when I was still, after first retired, of going into employers and asking, what do you need? You know, and the biggest, it really surprised a lot of people, bachelor's degree, master's, blah, 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 but it's the ability to be there, to show up for the job is really what I need most. And then I'll hire somebody. But what is your role if an individual has some disabilities but they still want to be employed? You know, they maybe even have an income coming in. But you know, it's not about the money. It's about having a reason to get up and go someplace and feeling good about what I'm doing and stuff. So, what is your job here at the Disability Connections?
Well, I'm a community resource specialist. I meet with individuals referred from Michigan Rehabilitation Services, Commission of the Blind. And sometimes we work with people off the street that come in under core services. And generally, we help get services in place quite often, clothing for interviews. A lot of people don't have that. I help with those things, interview skills, resume. We go through mock interviews. We work on budgeting skills. And we get out in the community, and I go out and find jobs for people. I work in the community quite a bit, and I look for jobs that fit their particular need as I get to know their personality, so that it's a long-term success.
How tough is it now with the economy? You know, a lot of people say I could put an ad in the paper for a stapler, and I have 300 people there tomorrow morning for that stapler job because that's how critical it is. So it's pretty competitive, and like you say, if you don't have your ducks lined up, if you don't come for the job, if you're not dressed the right way, if you don't have your resume put together, and that can be intimidating if you've not gone out very many times into the workforce and looked for the job. And those are just some tips that you can give them that really makes a big difference. Your self-esteem and your confidence level as I can compete, but I just have to get my foot in the door. And so that's kind of what you help them do. Is that right?
I help them put a face to a resume. It's very important to go in and shake hands with the employer, look him in the eye and let him know who you are so he identifies you from the other 300 applicants that are in paper.
Why does this person stand out, or why should I take a second look at this individual because of that? Okay. And so what else we do with them?
Oh, goodness. Once we have a job secured, and a lot of times I go in, it depends on the disability. I work with people that are autistic, that have vision impairments, all the way to people with brain injuries, a very diverse group of people with different types of disabilities. Some people I go in and job develop for, I already know that they have the job. I go to the interview with them, and then I help them get ready for the job. If they need steel-toe boots, particular clothing for the job, I take them out and I help them get that. And we arrange transportation to make sure how they get to work and back, and get them in the door, help with the W-2 paperwork, anything that's needed. Basically, that's what I do. And then I check up on them. How'd the first day of work go? How are you doing? Are you getting to work on time? My job is ongoing supports as well to make sure they continue to get to work. If the car breaks down, I've got up at 5:30 in the morning and taking people to work before to make sure that we can solve that problem.
So, and some of you may be asking, well, why, with the veterans tie-in? Well, veterans are a mirror image of the community, and we have family members with disabilities. And so if it's a veteran's disabled, you know, you can come to the vet center, and we have a employment and training specialist that works with us. We also work with voc rehab, which is a mirror of what you guys are doing here. But if you have a family member, so does a person... do they have to be drawn Social Security disability to qualify for? How do I qualify for your program? If I do they have to be drawn Social Security disability?
Absolutely not. When they go through Michigan Rehab Services, which is generally where I refer to for people that come in off the street or call, they have to have a documentable disability. It can be ADHD. They can have been in a special needs class in school. They can have severe injuries. Anything that's documented by a doctor qualifies them to go through. Anxiety, there's a lot of people right now that are out of work due to the economy that have anxiety issues that weren't there before. Yeah. And as long as it's documented, they go to MRS and they go through an orientation and then they're assigned a counselor. And once the counselor has them, what they call it a plan, they devise a plan as to what they're going to, type of work they're going to look for and what they would like to do. They then refer them to a job developer, and that's how I get the people that I work with.
MRS is?
Michigan Rehabilitational Services.
Okay. So, again, you don't have to be having, if you will, a Social Security disability if you have a situation in your life where you're being treated by a medical provider for some kind of thing that's inhibiting you from being totally productive, that warrants the disability.
Yes.
And then so they can come through this program, get their foot in the door, and so you know, I guess a disability is sometimes in the eye of the beholder, because I have a lot of vets will walk in and will not acknowledge post-traumatic stress, or they don't acknowledge the traumatic brain injury for these percussions, and that's what we're really seeing a lot now. I think in civilian pop it's the same thing. People don't, especially if it's a mental health issue, don't want to acknowledge that, or don't want to let people know that they have it, so they try to cover it up, or they try to get by the best they can, or ignore it. When in essence it's a physical disability or mental disability is the same thing. You can work with that, and you can learn to live with that, and you can be very productive with that. It's just finding the niche. And like you say, if you get up there and do a battery of tests to find out, here's a career field maybe you never even thought about doing. You know, your disability has nothing to do with your ability to do this. But you get some folks like that, just give them some encouragement. So. We would certainly, if you know somebody in your family, or you know of a loved one, or somebody through your church, or any place, this is what this show is all about: is letting you know what's available in the community, what's out there, and there are resources, and they're there. This is a free service, correct? I mean,
absolutely.
You don't have to pay anything for this. You don't have to hire anybody. You can come in and see what's there to offer for you, and take advantage of it, because it can change your life.
Absolutely,
life changing. Okay. All right, we're going to take a quick break here and make some money, if we will, from the sponsors, and we'll be back. Thanks a lot.